Let's stop pretending America doesn't have a violence problem. It has a selective outrage problem. Because the truth is simple, both the right and the left excuse violence when it's politically useful, and then just lie about it. When someone on the political right is murdered, part of the left rushes to distance themselves just enough to sound moral, while doing everything possible to explain why it was understandable. They won't say he deserved it. They're smarter than that. They say, I don't condone violence, but words have consequences. Or they would say, this didn't happen in a vacuum. Or in other ways, they can say, you can't just ignore the harm his rhetoric has caused. Translation to all of this, the killer is wrong, but the victim had it coming. That's essentially what they mean behind all the word salads. That's not a nuance, that's a moral cowardice dressed up as analysis. You don't get to oppose political violence while turning murder into a teachable moment about dangerous ideas. That's not condemning violence, that's laundering it. Now let's talk about the right, because the hypocrisy cuts both ways. When a civilian is killed by the state or the police, especially someone tied to immigration, policing, or protest, suddenly the people who scream law and order turns into a defense attorney. And they would go and say, we need to wait for the facts. It was a split-second decision. Why didn't they comply? Don't politicize this tragedy. Funny how fast personal responsibility disappears when the system pulls the trigger. Suddenly, accountability is being anti-cop and empathy is being woke. And asking question is hating America. Same game, different script. Here's the rule both sides follow, even if they'll never admit it. If the victim is on our team, they're a human being. If the victim is in the other team, there are lessons to be learned. The left turned dead conservative into cautionary tales about speech, and the right turns dead civilians into procedural errors. Neither side is actually defending life, they're just defending their own narratives. And don't miss this part because it matters. This hypocrisy doesn't just rot discourse, it actually encourages violence. Because every time you say violence is wrong, but some unstable person hears that as long as it's the right target, someone will justify me. So every wink, every qualifier, every excuse create permission. You're not contextualizing, you're lowering the moral cost of killing. And the most dishonest part is both sides still insist they're the only one who cares about decency. The left says we're against violence unless the victim is framed as harmful. The right says all lives matter unless acknowledging one threatens authority. That's not principle, that's more like branding. Real moral clarity is boring and inconvenient, which is why almost no one practices it. Because real consistency means saying murder is wrong even when the victim knows you. State violence deserves scrutiny even when it embarrasses your side. Empathy isn't a reward for ideological alignment, and most people don't want that. They want permission to hate with clean hands. So spare me the lecture, spare me the hashtags, and spare me the thoughts and prayers. That disappears the moment the wrong person dies. Until we stop excusing violence selectively, we're not a polarized country. We're a dishonest one. And hypocrisy, not hate, is what keeps the body count climbing. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. And again, thank you for watching.